All right, welcome back everyone. This is part 3 of the concession trailer build. In this video, I'm going to be taking care of the trailer flooring as well as some of the walls, some FRP and some stainless. Right now I'm cutting up some diamond plate sheeting for the floor. I have 3 4x8 sheets. That's what it's going to take to complete that entire floor. I'm missing a video, so I'm starting right in the middle of everything. I'm going to go ahead and finish measuring up these sheets and getting them cut, and enjoy. So let me get ready to cut a hole to accommodate this gas line here. I don't have a step bit big enough size. Well, you know, wait a second. This might just fit. Let's see. You know, it's exactly the same size as the pipe. I don't want to fuss with trying to get this pipe through it. I have this hole saw here, but I don't know if that's going to go through the metal. It should. I mean, this is thin. So I just want to make sure the hole is big enough, and I don't want to play around with this step bit and then still have to bang this sheet over the pipe and bend it. So I'm going to go ahead and make some measurements, cut this hole out of this sheet, and go from there. Got a piece of the old rubber flooring stuck down there at the edge. I need to get a razor blade and cut that out so it sits flush against the wall. Look at that. Perfectly butted together. Looks good. I'm actually going to start with this side, glue it down, go back. I have some room to play around in the back of the trailer at the end of the board. You can see here in the middle, it's actually bowing a little bit, and that's why I'm going to start back here gluing this down, put a few screws in it. Yeah, so that's why I'm going to start back here, glue this first sheet down, put a couple screws in it along the edges, and then come down with the second sheet. have some wiggle room around that pipe because the hole's so big. You know, later on I'm gonna come back on these edges in silicone, really good, really well. All right, so I'm gonna put a few screws in this first piece of wood just to hold it where it is, lift it up and glue it down. I don't have I don't have enough self-tapping screws. I have a few of these screws. These are like for the Craig jig, and this will really bite into the underlaying plywood really good. I'm just going to pre-drill a hole through this diamond plate since these are self-tapping. Now I'm going to come back with some, I thought I had Gorilla Glue, but I have Flex Glue. It's what I have, so either I'm not going to the store today, so it's either do this or wait till another day. Well, hopefully this holds. I'm still going to put some more screws around the edges. So I just want to keep this, I want to use the glue just to keep the middles from creaking and making noise as people walk on it. So. So I glued that first sheet down. I'm gonna stop. I need to go to the store and get some of the Gorilla Glue construction adhesive. I have this Flex Seal glue. I think it's good enough, but I don't want to continue with it. It's in a little squeeze tube. I'm gonna get a big tube for my caulk gun. For now, I'm just gonna hold those two pieces down, get some glue. Be right back. So I built this jig here to hold this sheet up on the wall while I try to screw it in. Hold the glue onto the wall. I regret buying this stainless from Amazon because it was, it was rolled up in a box, and I thought laying it out for a period of time, putting some weight on it would help remove some of the waves, help flatten it out. But it's a pain to work with, and especially, in a minute I'll be trying to put the edges of the sheet onto a piece of trim. It's a center trim that goes in between the two pieces of stainless. It takes me a while to get that on because some of the edges on this sheet are bent because it being in a box, delivery services, the Amazon, so forth. If the end of the box hits the ground, it's bending the edge of that that stainless, which is what happened here. So I'm pre-drilling a few holes into the stainless, then putting some of those self-tapping screws in it. The self-tapping screw will go through the stainless. It just takes forever to drill a hole, so I'm just pre-drilling first, then putting some screws in the bottom just to hold the bottom into place. You can't see it really well on camera, but there are some waves and warps in the stainless because it's not really adhering that well to the wall, but the jig is holding it up there. I'm going to get it screwed up really well. I'm a show trying to get the edges into that piece of trim. I eventually get it in, but just a message to other builders out there: avoid buying the sheets on Amazon that are rolled up in a box. I normally get it from a local supplier, which I'm going to do next time. So I have one more sheet to purchase, and I'm here in Georgia. I believe there's a supplier in up near Smyrna, Georgia. I can go pick up a flat sheet of, I believe it's 430 stainless, and it's actually cheaper than the Amazon with minus shipping. It's still cheaper. So here's that trim that goes in between the two pieces of stainless. I only could find the 48-inch sections. I wish I could find a 96. That way I can just have one piece. But I have the two pieces that go in between each sheet, and it looks pretty decent. The final product here on this sheet of aluminum, it's actually bent, and this is what took forever. In addition to the sheet being curled from being in a box, there was one little part right here that was actually, the edges was bent. So I just used this crowbar and some pliers to kind of straighten that out as much as I can, so I can ease this piece of trim on. But yeah, just a word to the wise: don't purchase those sheets of metal that come rolled up in a box. Unless I let this thing sit out in the sun with some weights on it for a few days. Even then I don't think it would have been completely flat, and it's very hard to work with when you put it on a wall and it's not completely flat. So I'm going to continue on with this process. Enjoy. All right, I'm gonna come back to that stainless. The edges of that second sheet were so bent out of shape from being rolled up. I couldn't align it with the trim myself, so I had to have my wife help me. So I'm going to come back to that, but this is the opening in the roof from the AC unit. I want to get this sealed up because it looks like it's about to rain outside, and I don't want the flooring, walls, and everything to get soaked. So knock this out and come back to the walls. This is where we are with the floor and some of the stainless right now. So as you can see, the floor is all down. I got 2 sheets of stainless on the wall. Go ahead and open this door. Two sheets of stainless. There's some glue behind that stainless, and there's also, but I went ahead and screwed the top, middle, and bottom. Because I bought this stainless on Amazon. You saw the video. I was rolling it out in the driveway and cutting it, and since they were rolled up, they're really hard to line up. I have this stainless steel seam that I purchased on Amazon as well. Help you butt up the 2 sheets of stainless nicely. But it was a pain to get them in there because of the way the stainless was rolled up into a roll. I have to go way across town to pick up another sheet of stainless. I'm not going to order it on Amazon anymore, but I have to wait till Thursday to pick it up. And I also have to get some FRP for this side of the wall where the concession window is, as well as the end of the trailer, the rear of the trailer. I'm going to cover this wall with FRP, even though that's still going to remain in a rear I don't know what you call it. Even though this wall is still going to remain, you know, the rear opening, I'm not going to put a door in here. I may buy a small concession window just for some ventilation and some light to, you know, maybe something 24 by 24. But I'm going to cover this back wall with FRP as well. I just have to pick up that as well in addition to the stainless. And that's where we're going to continue in the next video, as well as getting the sink, all the plumbing, as well as just the RV, not the RV, but the power inlet and the line coming in before I close this wall, because the breaker box and the 12-volt power supply is going to be on this wall. The main power coming in from the 30 amp input is going to be coming through this wall here, so I need to get that done as well before I close the wall up. One thing I'm trying to do is have an access door outside for all the water. So I purchased this access door here. Let me come around. So here on the front of the trailer, I have a space to put this access door, and that'll allow me to still access the water tank and the plumbing after I close up that wall inside. Only problem is this is 16 by 16, and the beams behind the wall has a 14-inch space in between, and I don't want to cut into those beams. I don't know if you can see, but here's a good example on this wall. So the actual exterior beams are 14 inches apart, and then these V-nose here, I don't want to cut into those. So I'm trying to find a 12 by 12, a 14 by 14 hatch. And all I see is 10 by 10, 16 by 16. So I'm gonna keep searching for that and replace this hatch I have right here. I know I don't have any insulation behind the walls. It's just, I built the food truck before. I'll put a link below so you can see it's a Flickr page I have. But I'm just not gonna do this on this trailer. You know, this is kind of a starter trailer. Eventually, you know, if we do well, me and my wife will upgrade and sell this. But that's what it is. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for part 4.